When do we as correctional officers need an attorney? You know, we don't want to be the type of officers that run out every time we're not happy with something and get an attorney, okay, to go against the agency. But I'm going to tell you something. You have times that are very serious within a career, and I hope you don't have to face these times I'm going to talk about. But if you do, you need to think about you, your family, your future, and your pension in this job or career, whichever you may call it. You have to think about yourself sometimes. And these examples I'm going to give you, I have seen people say, well, I trust the agency. They like me. I'm a good officer, so I have nothing to worry about. And then I've seen it backfire on them. You know, we do have good agencies. We have good managers. But listen, do not put your life and your career and your future all into the hands of one basket, okay? Or all into one basket. Don't do that. Protect yourself. Think about yourself. Think outside the box. Now, I'm going to give you a few examples of when you as a correctional officer need to have an attorney. And I also want to say that every officer out there should study and know their Correctional Officer Bill of Rights. Every state and every agency has to go under a Correctional Officer Bill of Rights. Know yours, know what it says, read it and know it, so you know what rights you have as a correctional officer. A platoon sergeant told me long ago when I was an 18-year-old private, E1, son, check your personnel files and take care of yourself. Who better to take care of you than yourself? Remember that. Now, one time when you really need an attorney is when you're attacked by inmates on the job. Whether you're attacked by inmates and beaten up while doing your rounds, whether you're attacked by an inmate with a homemade weapon and injured, you're on hospital watch and you get injured while doing hospital watch. Every case has different circumstances. You need a good workman's comp or workforce attorney on your side. Even if all you do is go to them for a consultation and get advice from them on your situation, and you decide not to retain them, at least go and get the consultation and the advice from them. And you may find that you do need a good workforce attorney. You know, let's take an example of being injured while on hospital watch. Staff shortage. Listen, you're going to have to take this inmate to the hospital and put them on and be on watch. Well, the agency clearly states, okay, it clearly states that this inmate is high risk and the inmate must have 2 officers on watch at all times. But they're short of staff and they're going to take a shortcut, okay? Policy and procedure is being violated by your supervisor. You're now watching this inmate at the hospital. The inmate somehow gets a hold of you or something in the hospital room and beats you with it, and beats you bad. I'm talking about a true case that happened here in this area. I won't give names or anything. And was captured outside of the hospital room. Well, okay, now their agency may want to look at you for what did you do wrong? What were you on your cell phone during this incident? Did you mess up? Now, you're the one who's beaten, folks. You're the correctional officer who's beaten severely and this inmate escapes hospital watch. Well, who's going to be in your corner to go against the agency for putting you in that position to begin with? All right? Every situation is different. You're not always going to be backed by your agency. An inmate attacks you and says, I'm going to kill you. And just as the inmate's about to hit you, you knock the heck out of that inmate and hurt the inmate. The inmate's injured now. Well, who's going to come after you? Well, you know the inmate's family wants to sue for excessive force immediately. Will your agency back you 100% in that situation? The inmate was the aggressor, the violent aggressor, coming at you saying they're going to kill you. Now you cold cock the inmate to protect yourself, to defend yourself. Now the inmate's family sues. Do you need an attorney? I would think so. Do you trust that the agency is going to back you 100% in that situation? If you want to roll the dice, roll it. I'm not rolling the dice. I'm going to get an attorney to protect myself. I defended myself against an aggressive inmate. The inmate spit right in my face, and my first reaction, bam, I hit the inmate. Well, spitting on you is an assault. I think I want an attorney in this case, because if you're going to come after me for defending myself, okay, inmates are always making allegations against officers and suing officers and trying to press criminal charges against officers. Hey, it works two ways, folks. We have to protect ourselves. So that's one area that a correctional officer needs an attorney. Okay? Actually, two areas. Workman's comp issues, and then an inmate tries to hit you and you defend yourself. That's two. Okay? Another area that happens, and we can't deny that this happens because it's been proven to have occurred several times. Class action lawsuits have even been won when female officers are harassed by their male co-workers. Don't say it doesn't happen, guys. You know it. Now, of course, if a female officer makes a false allegation, then we need to make sure that female officer is disciplined. But how many times, more than not, are these allegations true? You know, a female officer comes into work brand new, and it's like a bunch of hound dogs all over her trying to give her cat calls and whistles and that. And that doesn't happen by all the male officers. But some of the male officers do this. Female officers, you don't have to put up with that. Sexual harassment in today's world, especially 2001, you don't have to put up with that. Don't go get an attorney right away. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying report it to your supervisor. If they don't do anything about it, report it to Human Resources. If your Human Resources doesn't do anything about it, and the sexual harassment continues, you've exhausted everything you can at your agency level, trying to be fair, trying to do the right thing, and do it through your supervisor. And then if that didn't work through Human Resources, what other recourse do you have? You may have to get an attorney, as some have in the past. But please give your agency the first option to take care of the sexual harassment allegation. Okay? Give them the first choice. If they don't want to do anything about it, by all means, go get an attorney. False allegations by inmates. Oh my God. How many of those do we have? Hundreds and hundreds. And some of these allegations by the inmates can ruin your career. Even if the case is investigated and found unsubstantiated, it still shows on your record that an allegation was made. It shows that it was unsubstantiated, meaning could have happened, can't prove it, but no punishment's going to occur, but it always leaves that question mark. You want that false allegation to be totally unfounded. You want it to be proven that this inmate made a false allegation against you, and now you want something, some disciplinary action taken against that inmate. That way your record shows that this never occurred. If you feel that false allegations by inmates against you have started to pile up on you, and you don't like these things in your record to be questionable, you know, maybe it did, maybe it didn't happen, maybe it's time to talk to an attorney. Your choice. I'm not telling you, and as I said in the beginning, we don't want to run out for every little thing and get an attorney. You know, that doesn't look good on you either. But on these serious type incidents that I'm discussing today, please don't leave it in the hands of your agency. If your agency doesn't take care of it properly in your eyes, they haven't protected you properly in your eyes, and the record doesn't show it, you may need to talk to an attorney. Only you can protect your future. I myself never, 28.8 years in corrections between state and the sheriff's office and several different positions during those years, I still would never allow the agency to take control of my future. Okay, that's my future. That's my pension. That's my personnel file that I want, people to see and not have any issues with me. I wouldn't do it, and I made it right through my career, but I didn't stand down and cower down and let the agency control everything I did. But I was respectful and I was tactful, and I never got out of hand with any of my supervisors. Even if I didn't like a supervisor and they told me to go do something, as long as it was within the law, I went and did my job and did what I was supposed to. So I'm not saying to be a blatant complainer, a blatant whistleblower here. I'm saying protect yourself. That's what this video is about. Protect yourself in these situations as I just described. And if you have more situations that you know of where a correctional officer needs an attorney, please put it in the comments section. Please say something. It's good for us to know, watch out for each other, and care for each other. And unfortunately, we can't always rely on the agency to help us. We sometimes have to seek outside advice and outside help. But if your agency's taking care of you and they did it the right way and they did it fair and unbiased and they did it properly, congratulations. You've got some good managers and some good supervisors. It's not the case everywhere. Just trying to get your mind out there and thinking outside the box. Keep care of yourself, folks. Protect yourself. You are the ones on the front line, the toughest job. You'll never change my mind about that. You'll never change my mind. The front line is the toughest job in our corrections field. And you need to protect yourself, and you need to be treated fair, and you need to be treated right. Thank you for watching. Gary York, True Prison Stories.